Lisbon is the city you will fall in love with on your first visit. The mixture of culture, history, gastronomy and nightlife combines the past and the present in an overwhelming mix. I invite you to discover a city where people, history and places welcome you with stories about deeds of bravery, tragedy, and the strength to overcome it all. Since it was founded, the city has been conquered by the Romans, Visigoths and Moors, but survived to become in 1260 the capital of Portugal. 500 years later, the Portuguese watched in horror as the city was devastated by a powerful earthquake, followed by a tsunami and fires. Lisbon survived the tragedy. In 1988, another major fire devastated the entire commercial area of the city. Today, you will not find old wounds visible in Lisbon districts. The traveler feels only the crazy lust for life of the locals, the joy and the wonder of great urban scenery. Whether in spring, summer, autumn or winter, Lisbon keeps its beauty intact. It is the city of architectural greatness and ruins full of history, a magnet for true gourmands and a pole of attraction for nightlife. In this city, all roads lead to Baixa. The center, with its cobbled streets, will offer visitors a dizzying mix of new and old, a mix of traditional restaurants, cafes, clubs and souvenir shops. Is the perfect district to relax and have fun late into the night. The most convenient way to get around the city is the metro, whose stations you will discover in amazement thanks to their colorful mosaics walls. The 4 metro lines, Verde, green, Azul blue, Amarela-yellow, Vermelha-red, will take you to all the big tourist landmarks, fast and cheap. It is preferable to buy a rechargeable pass 7 Colinas, valid for all public transport lines. The card can be used also for the famous elevator de Santa Justa, inaugurated in 1902 and built by one of Gustav Eiffel's disciples. Once at Baixa Chiado station, Green Line, you will easily reach Lisbon Historic District and Bairro Alto. The historic center of the city is an amalgam of narrow streets, bars and restaurants, whose magic is most often discovered at night. Here, the narrow alleys, guarded by old houses, clad in mosaics of bluish tiles, house restaurants, and pubs where you can enjoy the beauty of the fado music. Don't be surprised to discover here one of the best ethnic cuisines in the world. Portuguese cuisine contains a lot of meat, but also a wide range of freshly caught seafood. The Portuguese red wines will definitely add flavor to your trip. For those who prefer a lighter wine, sangria, red or white, is the first choice. City center at its best. The city center starts with the beautiful Praça do Comércio Square, which you can only describe in one word: wow. It is one of the most imposing landmarks in Lisbon and was once one of the city's main ports. It is also a popular area for evening walks on your way to dinner. The north side of the square is guarded by an impressive triumphal arch, adorned with statues of historical figures such as Vasco da Gama and Marquês do Pombal. It will lead you to Rua Augusta, one of the city's main pedestrian shopping streets. Also from here, you can take one of the funiculars for a wonderful tour of the city, or tram 15 to the great Jerónimos Monastery, into the heart of Belém district. One of the most attractive districts of Lisbon is by far Belém. The place offers visitors the architectural splendor of the Jerónimos Monastery, the joy of discovering the imperial carriages in the National Coach Museum, as well as the imposing grandeur of the Monument of Discovery. Belém is the point from which, centuries ago, the famous Portuguese explorers set out for the unknown, and from here, Vasco da Gama began in 1497, his journey to the Indies. However, the most popular monument here remains Torre de Belém, whose image is often found on the cover of tourist guides. The fortified lighthouse, built in the time of Dom Manuel (1515 to 1520) to guard the entrance to the port, has now become one of the greatest attractions of Lisbon. Step inside and you'll have amazing views over the surrounding landscape. It is also a great spot for those essential vacation photos. The imposing monastery, located in the immediate vicinity of the tower, will also catch your attention and arouse your fascination. Built during the reign of Manuel I, the monastery is dedicated to Vasco da Gama, whose tomb is still under the vault of the shrine. Once in Belém, don't miss out on visiting the National Museum of Archeology and the Navy Museum. If you feel like eating something sweet, nearby, on Rua de Belém, you will find one of the oldest and most famous Portuguese pastry shop, mainly due to its famous Pastéis de Belém. With a 160-year tradition, the shop is easy to find. Just look around for the longest queue of people. A trip to Lisbon is not complete without a visit to the Cristo Rei Statue, for spectacular views over Lisbon. Do not miss seeing the Cathedral of Santa Maria Maior and the historic São Jorge Castle, a great spot to see the sun setting over the city. Built in the 5th century and fortified by the Moors, the castle and its fortifications dominate the city and offer the most beautiful view of Lisbon. At the foot of the castle, unaffected by the passage of time, the Moorish Alfama district, completely escaped damage from the 2 earthquakes that shook Lisbon in the past, and retains its charm intact. Wildlife and nature within the city. If you still have time, then Lisbon reveals you another way to spend a day outside. Stop at the Oriente metro station, Vermelha line, and you will suddenly find yourself facing a stunning architecture. Gare do Oriente is a must-see landmark and a testimony of modern Lisbon. Designed by architect Santiago Calatrava, Gare do Oriente opens the way to the Vasco da Gama shopping center. A few steps away, the Oceanarium brings the wonders of ocean within your grasp. Hundreds of species of fish, sharks and sea cats surround the people, swimming carelessly in front of amazed tourists. If you want to continue your trip in the middle of nature, the Lisbon Zoo will surpass your most demanding desires. You will be able to play with dolphins, admire giraffes or take the cable car for an unobstructed view of the entire garden. Remember, if you go to Lisbon for a city break, and only have a few days here, book your hotel in the historic center, the Baixa Pombalina, or nearby. Buy a 7 Colinas Card, also known as Viva Viagem, that can be topped up. It is the cheapest way to get around Lisbon. Visit Belem area for the Tower of Belém, the sail-shaped Discoveries Monument, the gothic Jerónimos Monastery, and the Pastéis de Belém patisserie. For best views over the city, go to Cristo Rei Statue on the southern banks of the Tejo Estuary, São Jorge Castle, Miradouro da Graça, Panoramico de Monsanto. Lastly, this city is a great holiday destination all year round. Check out my channel for more travel tips and hacks.